Churches everywhere are quiet and empty on this Easter Sunday. I'll explain how they're still delivering their message.
And a new order focuses on protecting Utahns, but it's causing unexpected headaches for those living near the state's border.
Hundreds are spending their Easter Sunday here at the state capitol, but it's hard to stay 6 feet apart from anybody. We'll show you how people aren't socially distancing coming up.
And see how people who are at risk of contracting COVID-19 can safely get groceries and support local at the same time.
Well, we're keeping it cool, but there is a warm-up. Is it the warm-up before our next storm? I'll let you know in the forecast.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
First on Fox 13, the latest on the fight against COVID-19. Utah now has 2,303 cases. That's 97 new cases from yesterday. The death toll remains at 18. And for the first time, Utah County has more cases than Summit County. Around 44,000 people have been tested in our state. We're still seeing a 95% negative test rate. And in the midst of this pandemic, millions around the world celebrated an Easter like no other today as churches are empty.
Fox 13's John Franke shows us how Catholics in Utah came together while staying apart.
These bells are announcing a celebration.
That's the joy of Easter.
The bells are usually meant as an invitation to come inside these doors.
No one has ever experienced anything like this.
To gather, to observe one of the holiest days for Christians around the world.
The idea that we would not be able to meet on Easter Sunday is so very sad.
On a normal Easter Sunday, these steps would be packed with parishioners wearing their Sunday best, headed to Mass, but there's been nothing normal about this spring. That's why the pastor here at the Cathedral of the Madeleine says the message they deliver now is more important than ever.
Even this difficulty of a pandemic, a worldwide crisis, cannot keep us apart.
This year, the Catholic Cathedral is mostly empty as the Easter Mass goes on.
Even though that we are physically distant from one another, we are one people, one humanity.
To connect with everyone forced to stay home, the cathedral is live streaming its services on YouTube.
There's a deep realization that thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are doing the same thing at the same time.
It's the new reality.
I'm able to imagine the people, because I know where people sit.
But one that is temporary.
Whether it's going to be a month from now or 2 months from now, we will be here again.
These pews may look empty.
That first Sunday when we're able to be back, the joy will be the joy of Easter.
But they are a symbol of people working as a team to get through this crisis.
The people who are Christians and non-Christians and everyone around the world is not looking to themselves, but is looking to the other.
In Salt Lake City, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Churches around the world aren't just turning to the internet to hold their Easter services this year. Some churches in our area held a drive-in service. The New Life Center Pentecostal Church in West Valley City held its service at a parking lot. Everyone who showed up stayed in their cars.
You hear so much opposition, you hear so much negativism. It is so good to come and just uplift the name of Jesus and feel that there is answers, there's direction, there's hope.
The church would like to continue these drive-in services, but will decide week to week depending on the state of the pandemic.
And Russell M. Nelson, the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, sending a message over Twitter. On this glorious Easter Sunday, I invite you to find joy in one of the most significant of all scriptural phrases. He is not here, for he is risen. I know Jesus Christ lives, and because he lives, we too can live again.
2 websites are now providing free delivery services from volunteers in Utah to especially help seniors and those with weakened immune systems. The websites Neighbors Helping Neighbors and Leave It to Us allow people to request deliveries of groceries, prescriptions, and other items. Now the problem for both websites is getting more people who are in need to use the free delivery services.
Right now we have many more volunteers than we do people who are using the service. So the very best way to help would just be let everyone know, let your neighbors or your grandparents or people know that there is a service.
If you or someone you know could benefit from these free delivery services, head over to our website, fox13now.com. Happening tomorrow, the second round of the Utah Leads Together Small Business Bridge Loan Program will begin.
This program uses $11 million in state funds, all to help out small businesses and nonprofits. The window to apply for the program starts tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and it's open until Thursday at noon.
Loan applications this time around will be accepted from Utah for-profit and 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Eligible for-profit business owners that applied but did not receive funding last round will be automatically considered this round.
So for a link to the application, head over to fox13now.com and click the link on our live blog. You'll find that at the top of the page.
Temperatures dropping considerably today across the state, but will they jump back up this week? Meteorologist Breck Bolton joining us with our first alert forecast.
Well, as we look on this Easter Sunday, where I hope you had a great Easter Sunday, where we had the opportunity to get outside, where we didn't have the showers, a little bit of sunshine as well, but you didn't want to stay outside for too long, where we kept temperatures throughout most of the day in the 40s. Now, as we look at the official highs across the state, some areas getting up into the 50s, but for the most part, as I mentioned, we were in the 40s throughout most of the afternoon. And with the winds in place, boy, it felt like it was in the upper 30s with that little wind chill factor. Now, here are your current temperatures across the state. We're already down into the 30s. Low to mid 40s along the Wasatch Front. Now, these are temperatures that we typically experience for our average overnight lows. And again, we see mainly our overnight lows in the early morning hours. We're already down into the 30s in Vernal and Price, upper 30s in Milford, still hanging on to the 60s though in St. George. That cold front moving through yesterday into the overnight hours, dropping temperatures. Thus, as we look at your current temperatures, noticing the temperature change over the past 24 hours, fairly significant statewide, except southwestern and southeastern Utah. Not seeing much of a drop towards the extreme corners of those areas. Now, as we take a look at your satellite radar across the state, notice we're starting to see some clouds moving away. Now, earlier on, we had some showers threatening southern Utah, where towards the Dixie area, we had some isolated showers and some thunderstorms in place. Those have been moving on, so that's not so much of a concern right now, as we're going to keep skies mainly clear overnight. And that means that we're going to be looking at some improvements. However, we're going to keep a cool northwesterly flow going here in the next 24 hours. Thus, as we look for tonight's lows, temperatures will be dipping down into the low 30s along the Wasatch Front, upper 20s as we turn towards Cache Valley, and even in some of the Wasatch Mountain valleys, low 20s to high teens. So it's going to be a cold Monday, but we do see a warm up. But we also see another storm on the way. When does that hit? We'll let you know coming up.
Thank you, Breck. Hundreds of families spent their Easter Sunday checking out the blooms at the Utah State Capitol.
And while those cherry blossoms draw in crowds every year, Elle Thomas shows us why taking a trip to the Capitol Hill right now isn't the best idea.
Taking a stroll, flying kites, snapping some pics.
I'm taking my senior pictures.
Now walk back this way. Or just busting a move. When it comes to spending the afternoon at the Capitol
and enjoying the beautiful Easter day,
even the Easter Bunny couldn't stay away.
We needed to see these in bloom and do the walk.
Yet, despite one-way signs,
I'll veer off the path.
Enforcement,
A lot of people don't, it appears that they may not be as concerned.
and warnings from the CDC and state government,
There's only about 15% of the people wearing a mask.
most Capitol goers seem to be on the same page.
Didn't really think there would be this many people here.
There's a lot of people here. Had I known how many people, I don't know if I would have come out.
State leaders say people can be here so long as they're actually following the rules.
I just hope people will go that extra mile and do the right thing.
The state has set up a website where you can report rule breakers that you see out in the public. We'll have a link to that on our website. At the Capitol, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Coming up, the new travel notifications going out to people traveling into Utah are popping up for people who already live here. We talk with people frustrated by this and share what the state is doing about it.
And less people commuting to work means less traffic. But troopers are worried this could lead to more fatalities. The stern message they have for drivers.
Fox Wednesday. Sweet Home
Get your sing-along on with our remaining celebrities in disguise. Plus, a never-before-seen tribute from our unmasked singers.
I love you, White Tiger.
The Masked Singer Sing-Along Spectacular, followed by the season finale of Lego Masters, Wednesday on Fox.
Sometimes in life, things come out of nowhere that seem to change everything. If you've been injured, look to Craig Swap & Associates for the good advice and settlement you deserve. We can start your case easily over the phone to get working for you right away. One call, that's all.
As a lazy dog, I'm a flooring expert, which got me the gig as the Carpet One spokesdog. And I need to tell you about the Spillabration event. But I'm new to this, so I got my colleague to help.
Don't worry about spills. Save up to 50% on stain-resistant LVT, carpet, and hardwood during Giant Carpet One's Spillabration event. Save today.
This spokesdog contract practically fulfills itself.
All of your flooring needs in one place at Giant Carpet One Floor & Home.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000.
You won't pay any of that when you have home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club.
They'll repair or replace your covered home appliances and systems for around $1 a day.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
Call the number on your screen now. Get a month free plus $75 off your first year HSC home warranty. No worries, just service.
Everything okay?
Regular service helps you stay safe on the road, but if you get injured because someone else wasn't as careful, call Craig Swap & Associates for the 5-star service you'll need to win your case. Craig Swap & Associates. One call, that's all.
That's good advice.
The best movie on TV is FaceTiming my parents.
Next, new live, Ed Helms. Monday at 10 a.m. on Fox 13.
This is Fox 13 News.
West Valley City Police have identified the teen killed in a crash late last night. Investigators say 19-year-old Jesus Torres lost control of his vehicle at Redwood Road and Parkway Boulevard and crashed into a telephone pole, knocking out the power in that neighborhood. According to witnesses, Torres was switching lanes in the moments leading up to the crash. He was thrown from his vehicle and pronounced dead at the scene. No one else was hurt in this crash.
And with 2 fatal crashes just this weekend that troopers believe are related to speeding, they're warning drivers of the alarming trend that they're seeing.
We're getting speeds of excess over 100 almost every day at this point.
So troopers worry the light traffic is causing people to go faster than usual, and they want to remind you they are still on the road and they're looking for dangerous driving.
Yeah, I think they've heard rumors that police officers aren't really working right now. We're kind of letting things slide, but that's not true. We're still out in full force.
So troopers say this is the perfect time to put your car on cruise control. Of course, keep it at the speed limit.
We've seen the state of Utah taking lots of measures to flatten the curve, but one new requirement is causing a headache for people living near the state's borders.
Yeah, some people are now getting travel alerts multiple times a day, and we're being told they kind of sound like an Amber Alert. Not something you want to hear. Fox 13's Spencer Joseph shows us how the state is working overtime now to fix it.
If you're traveling into the state like me, you're supposed to receive some information about COVID-19 from the state. But some people at home are also getting the alert on their phone. We talked with the Department of Emergency Services today, and they say even on Easter Sunday, they're working to fix the problem.
For the past week, you've most likely received this message if you've entered into the state, asking you to fill out this form. But residents of the Utah border towns are also getting the alert, sometimes multiple times a day.
There were some areas where cell phone towers that were many miles away from where we expected to alert. We're still receiving that alert and sending it on to residents.
We're about an hour from the border, probably. This morning, I think it came at like 8 o'clock this morning. And I have a friend who got 2 of them.
Jean Liddell lives in Roosevelt and has received alerts every day.
It scares the heck out of you when it comes on because it's an alarm, basically. I dropped my phone once because I was holding on to my phone.
So this morning, the Department of Emergency Management took action. This map shows Utah's southern border. The blue outline was the previous area. The yellow is what was changed this morning. They're still working on other areas, but as for the southern border...
There's some residents in St. George had been telling us, hey, we keep getting this alert every day. I checked with them today and they said, all is quiet.
Even with those unintended alerts, since its launch earlier this week, the message is getting to those entering the state and providing valuable data.
We've had more than 8,000 people already go and fill out the survey to some degree. We will be able to track and trace.
The program still might need some tweaking to be perfect, but the state says it's all in an effort to gather the best information possible to protect Utah residents.
It does mean that some of us are working on Easter Sunday to try and provide the best alert possible. And
Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
It's not often you see a bunch of celebrities come together for a video like this one. Check it out. Jason Alexander, Idina Menzel, Andy Cohen, and many more Jewish stars celebrating Passover in this ensemble YouTube video called Saturday Night Passover Seder. The 71-minute long musical comedy was put together all to raise money for the CDC Foundation COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund.
Turning to weather now, Breck Bolton practicing his social distancing from home tonight. And Breck, big drop in temperatures today, hitting below average for this time of year.
Yeah, on average, we should be in the low 60s. And leading up to the weekend and even on Saturday, we were in the 60s, actually above normal. Then the cold front hit yesterday afternoon, bringing in that colder air, some showers. We saw some sunshine, but we held on to those cooler temperatures. We did squeak out low 50s as you look at the almanac, where the official high in Salt Lake City at 52 degrees. But again, most of the afternoon, we found temperatures in the mid to upper 40s with a little bit of a breeze. It definitely felt cool out there. You needed a jacket, and it's going to be a cold night as well as we take a look at your current conditions in Salt Lake City, where temperatures are in the 40s right now. Winds not as strong, but still coming in out of the north. And there are some areas where we're going to be looking at concerns with some freeze warnings in place that we'll need to talk about. But first, let's go into your headlines where, yes, we're going to see a cool start to the work week, especially come tomorrow, as we're not going to be varying temperatures too much, maybe even a little bit cooler as we look towards tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night. Now, excuse me, as we look towards the middle of the week, we do have an approaching storm system that's mainly going to be impacting northern Utah. But there is a warming trend, even though it's going to be especially slow across northern Utah. Now, let's again take a look at your watches and warnings across the state. Nothing in effect except towards eastern Utah, where we do have freeze watches and warnings in place. And we're talking eastern Utah along I-70, as you can see, between Green River, Grand Junction. In that area, we'll definitely find tonight temperatures below freezing, and maybe there might be additional warnings come tomorrow night, as we're expecting to find some cold temperatures across the state. Now, as we look at the satellite radar imagery, earlier on we did have some isolated showers moving through the Dixie area, tracking off towards the east, but the trend right now is the clouds pushing away, that cold front moving off towards the east, but we still, after the math there, is allowing for a cool northwesterly flow that will be continuing to track throughout the region here over the next 24 to 48 hours. So as we look across northern Utah, you can see we really are clearing out. So as we are going to have, especially as we get past midnight, mostly clear skies, it's going to get downright chilly with temperatures close to freezing across many locations along the Wasatch Front, and even 20s up in Cache Valley. Now here's the wider viewpoint. Again, that cold front moving south towards the east. We're still trapped with that flow coming in from the north, so that air all the way from Canada coming down through Idaho will continue to infiltrate the region here for tomorrow. Now, I wanted to show you, as again, we did have some isolated showers today, even last night. As we move forward, though, over the next 24 hours, it's going to be fairly dry. You're noticing across northern, central, and northeastern Utah, the mountains still could experience some isolated showers, but really over the next 48 hours, lacking in moisture. So we get a break. As this last storm really not doing much damage, but again, the precipitation threat just not there. It does increase, though, as we move towards Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon, into Thursday across northern Utah, as we do see a storm moving through. So for tonight and looking towards tomorrow morning, temperatures cold, 30s along the Wasatch Front, 20s up in Park City. As we turn towards eastern Utah, we're going to see a lot of locations in the 30s and even towards central and southern Utah. Tomorrow's highs, well, once again, we're in the 40s along the Wasatch Front, many spots through central Utah, 40s and 50s. And again, taking a look in St. George, we're in the 60s. We climb back into the 70s, though, Looks to be dry in the Dixie area here for the next 7 days, and some nice 70s with a nice range of temperatures once we get to the middle of the week. Northern Utah, we've got those showers to contend with. Wednesday, Thursday, slow warm up, 40s to 50s to 60s. Now, it looks like another storm next weekend, but not until Sunday, with some lingering showers to the following week on Monday. So, again, kind of a roller coaster ride with those temperatures, but we get some spring showers, which we desperately need the moisture.
Still ahead, see how a local company is helping out those on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19.
And COVID-19 putting stresses on parents, and now there's a demand for donations to help mothers feed their newborns. We'll show you why.
Call S&S Roofing.
What?
Call S&S Roofing.
What's that?
Call S&S Roofing.
Oh, I believe I will.
Call S&S Roofing today.
So generally, I like to write my talks out and try to
Just when you thought you were done painting, you discover paint bleed under your tape. Not with Frog Tape. Frog Tape is the only painter's tape treated with patented paint block technology. Paint block reacts with the water in latex paint to form a micro barrier against paint bleed, giving you the sharpest lines possible. Get professional results with Frog Tape. No messy lines, no paint bleed. For sharp lines, every time, Frog it.
In a time when we can't all gather around a table, we can still come together as a community. We're Open Utah is a partnership between Fox 13 and our local restaurants and businesses with one goal, getting them through this tough time. Every day, we'll help shine a light on the businesses that make up our community. We'll tell their stories, rally around those who are keeping the grills going and the businesses operating. Fox 13 is committed to bringing you those stories and giving our local businesses a voice in our newscasts, on our website, mobile app, and social media sites. If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you. Please go to fox13now.com/open to submit your video or comments and let us know how your business or organization is evolving. As you find ways to support your local businesses, share your photos and stories with us at #OpenUtah, because now more than ever, we all need to be open. Fox 13 News is now streaming live on Roku and Fire TV. Getting up-to-the-minute local news is more important than ever. Just look for the KSTU Fox 13 News channel and watch all our newscasts streaming live. Let's connect.
Roof repairs?
Call S&S Roofing.
Service on your commercial building?
Call S&S Roofing.
Maintenance on your warehouse?
Call S&S Roofing.
Call
S&S Roofing today.
An Ogden construction company is creating mobile triage units and portable test labs, all in an effort to help fight COVID-19, and they're giving one of those away. Fox 13's Scott McCain shows us.
Employees of HHI Corporation are hard at work, gearing up to help combat COVID-19. HHI is constructing two systems. One is a mobile triage unit and a portable test lab to provide COVID-19 patient care.
We've been building this for a couple weeks in response to the COVID-19.
HHI Executive Vice President Cliff Hokinson says the systems are designed to help federal and state governments who are seeing an increased medical capacity.
This is basically a mobile hospital extension.
The construction company has a history of designing and fabricating equipment and labs for the federal government and for the U.S. military. HHI says they created the isolation boxes used to help treat patients infected with COVID-19 on the Japanese cruise ship earlier this year.
This is our way to donate back to the country that we've been working for 49 years.
And now they are giving away one of those mobile triage units to a federal, state, or local organization with an immediate need.
This is basically a mobile hospital extension. It provides 12 beds with nurses station and all the support utilities that could be set up inside of a parking lot of a hospital or at an arena or anywhere else where they need extra help for the nurses and patients.
Hokinson says they use 6 heavily modified shipping containers and a fabricated skid to build 1 unit.
So it works, it's very versatile, and we've got it set up to basically be a remote, isolated unit that can just set up right in the parking lot.
Scott McCain, Fox 13 News, Utah.
HHI says a total of 10 units are currently planned with a possibility of 20 more depending on demand. If you have an immediate need for one of the mobile triage units or want to apply for the free unit, we will link you to HHI's website from ours. You have until April 15th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time to apply.
Here in Utah, COVID-19 is putting a stress on how some mothers feed their newborns. Fox 13's Kelly Chapman shows us why the Mountain West Mother's Milk Bank needs your help.
COVID has had an interesting effect on our milk bank.
Behind the glass walls, staff at the Mountain West Mother's Milk Bank are hard at work, preparing to send pasteurized donor human milk to hospitals around the Mountain West region.
We've actually experienced an increase in demand.
Jenny Noren is the Director of Operations at the Mountain West Mother's Milk Bank in Salt Lake City. The nonprofit organization receives donated breast milk from healthy mothers, which they then send to local and regional hospitals to help feed newborn babies.
We don't want families worrying about the ability of their babies to get pasteurized donor human milk.
Which is why during the COVID-19 pandemic,
we have increased our staffing here in the lab and increased the hours that our donor screeners are working to be able to support that increased demand.
The milk bank is remaining fully operational, and Noren says they are taking extra precautions to make sure the donors and babies stay safe.
We're able to offer a contact-free drop-off.
Noren says donor mothers need to call ahead to schedule a drop-off time with their donor screeners. But after that, drop-off is easy.
The donor mom or a family member can come, put the frozen milk into that cooler. We have a time window, so we're watching for it so that there's no risk to the milk.
The increase in demand is partly because hospitals are holding on to more mother's milk, just in case of an emergency.
In case there are even babies from the community that come in due to a parent being tested positive for COVID and being hospitalized.
But there are other worries for Noren and her staff.
We are running on a razor's edge.
The need for donations is great, both financial and donor milk, all to keep up with demand.
This milk literally is life-saving to babies in the newborn ICU and medically fragile babies. And so the work that they do to be able to help us increase our supply is an incredible gift for which we're forever grateful.
Kelly Chapman, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And if you would like to donate, we have the bank's information on fox13now.com. Still to come, President Trump's opponent in the upcoming presidential election talks about his plans to help the U.S. open its borders again. Hear what Joe Biden has in mind.